Only a few writers get a day dedicated to them, and today is one such day. 13th September is marked as Roald Dahl Day to remember the beloved British author who wrote more than 20 children's books, including The Tweets, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, Fantastic Mr. Fox, and The Witches. Since 2006, every year this day, book lovers celebrate his stories and his characters. This year would have been his 108th birthday, so we thought we would share some fantastic facts about his life. One of the greatest storytellers for children of 20th century was born to Norwegian parents Harald Dahl and Sophie Magdalene Dahl into a family of 6, and he was named after Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen, who was the first to reach South Pole. Dahl was fluent in 3 languages, English, Norwegian, and Swahili. Throughout his life, Dahl had interesting and adventurous jobs. Before he became an author, he was a fighter pilot for the Royal Air Force. During World War II, he flew a Hawker Hurricane plane. While tracking down Germans, he had a few close shaves and in one occasion lost his nose. Roald also became a spy for MI6 when he was recruited by the Canadian spy master William Stephenson. As part of his work, Dahl sent secret facts and information. His work as a spy also saw him work with James Bond creator Ian Fleming. Dahl wrote the film storyline for the 5th movie in James Bond series, You Only Live Twice. Thus, he became a screenwriter too, apart from being a novelist and short story writer. He rose to fame as a writer of children's fantasy novels shortly after World War II while he was recuperating from his injury from a crash. The first book he wrote was Gremlins in 1943. Many of the characters and stories he created were inspired by the people and places around him. For example, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was inspired by his childhood. When he was just 13, he studied in Repton boarding school. It was around 1930s, and during that time, the chocolate maker Cadbury's used to taste test their chocolate bars at Rawls School. The Chocolate Factory sent its products, and he and some of his friends were selected as chocolate tasters. Dahl imagined being invited by the owner to take over the factory after winning a magical prize, and he even used to dream that he would invent a new chocolate bar and win prize from Mr. Cadbury. So the idea for the book was formed here, and it was an inspiration to write Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It talks about children's education and the importance of family. You can also discover a wonderful world of sweets and chocolate in this book. This was later adapted into 2 blockbuster movies in 1971 and 2005. The Fox's home in Fantastic Mr. Fox was inspired by a huge tree which grew outside Dahl's home in the village of Great Missenden in England. The Witches is said to be based on Dahl's mother. His later work, The BFG, reflects his devotion to his own children. Dahl dedicated this book to his oldest daughter, Olivia, who died at age 7, and even named one of the main characters in it after his first grandchild, Sophie, his second daughter's child. Roald was incredibly creative and came up with more than 500 new words and character names, such as Oompa Loompas and Scrumdiddlyumptious from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and Snoozecumberrs and Frobscottle from the BFG. He called his language Gobblefunk. Oxford University Press even created a special Roald Dahl dictionary featuring about 8,000 real and imaginary words which he loved to use. Dahl spent around 4 hours every day from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then again from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. writing stories from his garden shed. Known as his writing hut, he used to have a cozy old armchair and a specially designed writing board which would sit on his lap. He wrote his stories using a pencil and yellow paper. Unlike Enid Blyton, Dahl preferred to do all his writing in an old red book in pencil and never learned to type. And do you know, when he died in 1990, he was buried with some of his favorite things, which included chocolates and his HB pencils. Did you know Roald Dahl himself was a giant? Okay. Not quite like the ones in his stories, but he was 6 feet 6 inches tall. This earned him the nickname Lofty when he served in RAF. In 1971, a real man named Willy Wonka wrote to Roald Dahl. He wasn't a chocolatier, but a postman from Nebraska. James and the Giant Peach was to be called James and the Giant Cherry. It was changed from the cherry to a peach because Dahl said a peach was prettier, bigger, and squishier than a cherry. Known for his imaginative storytelling and dark humor, Dahl wrote 21 children's books. He wrote more than 60 short stories, including macabre stories for adults. More than 250 million copies of his books have been sold worldwide. He has received several awards, including the Edgar Allan Poe Award and the Mystery Writers of America Award, the New England Roundtable of Children's Librarian Award, and many more. His books have been adapted into successful films and continue to captivate both children and adults across the world even today. Hope you enjoyed knowing about your favorite childhood author. Which is your favorite Roald Dahl book? Let us know by leaving a comment below.